Good morning, fifth grade. Today we're going to begin reading in our text Homer, the Mostly True Adventures of Homer P. Fig. And before we get started, we have a quick write. It says, how do you know that the novel is historical fiction? So look at the front cover, look at the back cover, look at the table of contents, and find some evidence that the novel is historical fiction. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the vocabulary. Our focus question today is, how does the author characterize Homer and Squint? Our vocabulary words are scrawny, that's when someone is thin and bony. Abide, that's when you cannot stand something. And lynch, that is when you kill someone by hanging them. All right, we're going to read chapter 1 aloud, and we're going to use our CSPS strategy as we're reading because this is a fiction text. So I'm on page 1. The title of chapter 1 is The Meanest Man in Maine. Let's get ready to read. My name is Homer P. Fig, and these are my true adventures. I mean to write them down, every one, including all the heroes and cowards, and the saints and the scalawags, and them stained with the blood of innocence, and them touched by glory, and them that was lifted into heaven, and them that went to that other place. I say my true adventures because I told a fib to a writer once, who went and put it in the newspaper about me and my big brother Harold winning the Battle of Gettysburg, and how we shot each other dead but lived to tell the tale. That's partly true about winning the battle, but most ways it's a lie. Telling the truth don't come easy to me, and I will try, even if old truth ain't nearly as useful as a fib sometimes. We're going to stop right there because we have some information about our character. We know our character's name is Homer P. Fig, and he is writing down the story of his true adventures, but sometimes he lies. So in box 1A, we will write, Homer P. Fig is writing a story about his true adventures, even though sometimes he lies. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And so remember, we will need a quote that matches what we are saying. And so we could use this first sentence from the first paragraph to support our answer. Press pause to write down the first sentence in the first paragraph and play when you're ready for the setting. And so we also have information about our setting. He does talk about winning the Battle of Gettysburg. We're going to turn the page and keep reading because there will be more information about the setting on the next page. But this does tell us part of the setting, that this takes place around the Civil War time because it's the Battle of Gettysburg. I'm at the bottom of page 1. The P stands for Pierce, which I got from our mother, Abigail Pierce Fig, that perished of fever and left me and Harold under the care of her late husband's Squintin Leach. Of her late sister's husband, Squintin Leach. Turn the page, we're on page 2. Our father, Henry Fig, died of a felled tree before I came into this world, and when Mother passed away, our fortunes went from bad to worse, because Squintin Leach was the meanest man in the entire state of Maine. I tell a lie, there was a meaner man in Bangor once that poisoned cats for fun, but old Squint was the hardest man in Somerset County. A man so mean he squeezed the good out of the Holy Bible and beat us with it, and swore that God himself had inflicted me and Harold on him like he was Job and we were the boils and pestilence. Okay, we'll stop right there because we have information about our setting. We know that the story takes place during the Civil War, but we also know that Harold lives in the state of, or Homer and Harold live in the state of Maine. So in box 2A, we would write, Homer lives in Maine with his uncle Squintin Leach and his brother Harold during the time of the Civil War. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And there are two quotes you could write down. You could write down this sentence that says, because Squinton Leach was the meanest man in the entire state of Maine. Or you could write down the quote from page 1 about my brother Harold winning the Battle of Gettysburg. Press pause to write down your quote in 2B and play when you're ready for the problem. Our problem is on page 2. We know that Homer's parents, both of his parents have died. And so he and his brother had to live with his mother's sister's uncle, Squinton Leach. And he is like a very terrible man. All right, and so in box 2A, we would write down, since Homer's parents died, he and his brother had to live with his really mean uncle, Squinton Leach. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And in 3B, we would write this sentence down at the top of page 2. Our father, Henry Figg, died of a felled tree before I came into this world. And when Mother passed away, our fortunes went from bad to worse because Squinton Leach was the meanest man in the entire state of Maine. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. We're in the middle paragraph on page 2. Squinton Leach. Just writing down his name gives me the shivers. Our mother was a kindly schoolmarm and taught us to speak proper, so I can't tell you exactly what I think of Squinton Leach, but it approximates to what I think of a rabid skunk, or scabs on my backside, or bad toothache. Me and Harold tried not to take it personal because Squinton hated everything. We just happened to be included as he got stuck with us. Once I made a list of things Squint can't abide. And we'll stop right there because we do have the solution that tells us how Homer and Harold responded to their uncle hating them so much. And in box 4A, we would write, Homer and Harold tried not to take Squinton's meanness personally. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And we would write down this quote in the middle of page 2 that says, me and Harold tried not to take it personal because Squinton hated everything. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the paragraph. It says, what kind of person is Homer and how do you know? So based on what Homer has told us so far about himself and his life, write down a character trait for Harold and support your answer with evidence from the text.